Hello. Coming at you a little bit later than normal, but happy Wednesday. Hello, hello. All right, guys. So today we are going to be talking a little bit about the happiness trap and chasing happiness and why, like you're never actually supposed to get to that point where you are happy all the time. So, this is something that we were fed to us as young kids. This is something that we're fed to us in society and movies. Like you have the magical plot line where I say magical, but it's like the hero's journey, right? Like it's everybody knows it. Like the main character goes through life. They have this big downturn where shit hits the fan essentially, and then all of a sudden, like, something happens, something breaks. They have this breakthrough, maybe like if a relationship, like they broke up and they moved away and like they were all sad and whatever, and then like they meet that person again, like they walk into, like, meet up with that person again somewhere in life, and then they decide that this is fate and they get back together, and then everything is butterflies and rainbows, and like, you know what I'm talking about. Like it's the feel good movies. Like, this is what happiness is. I have to get to that point where everything's just gonna be, puppies and lollipops, if you want to say. So we're fed this lie. We're fed this lie, programmed into us. This is something that comes from um, our entire lives. Like, this is something that's like we strive for as kids. Like, if I get there, then I will be happy. If I get the good grades, then mom will be happy at me with me. If I get into the good college, I will, do well in life and make all the money and blah 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 blah. And so you you chase these. It's basically like a if then, like these if thens. If I get this, then I will have that. If I get here, then I will have happiness. But did you know it is a huge lie? It is a huge lie. Nobody is meant to be happy 100% of the time. So we we hustle, we strive, we claw our way to these milestones, and guess what? Like, we get to that top, like we get that job, we get a certain amount of money, we get the house, the relationships, we live in the perfect place, whatever. We get the family, and then we think there's something wrong when we're not happy all the time, when it doesn't satiate us, we're not feeling fully fulfilled, and then we get disappointed. So life is meant to life. Like, there's no 100% happiness all the time, like, unless you're like in another dimension somewhere, like, who knows. But life is gonna life. You're gonna run into the time when you get the speeding ticket, or into, delete this all from your subconscious mind. It's not actually gonna happen, but like getting into wrecks, like relationships break up, people die. So that is part of life. There's bills to pay, arguments to resolve. And, sometimes just things stack up. Like, the other day, I was having such a day with everything was falling on the floor. Like, I had butterfingers or something. I was like, everything was falling and it was driving me nuts. And I was, starting to get into the cycle of like, I'm having a bad day, until I shifted. until it shifted the energy. So if we were to be happy all the time, like we would basically stay the same. We would not evolve. We wouldn't learn. We wouldn't grow, because really in that friction, in that resistance, is where we're able to um, actually learn from something. Like if everything was perfect all the time, you just, you know, got your business going and like people just rolled in for no damn good reason. Like you had clients and, you know, like you didn't have to work for it. You know, was it like you didn't go through like a growth period. Like it was just easy. And you got money easily and it was just handed to you and like everything was like simple, right? There's no contrast. So when you are in that state, and you know, like when you're actually and this happens like with lottery winners too, when you're in the state where everything's just given to you and nothing is hard and everything's easy and you don't, you know, have any contrast to it, it is so much more easy for that person to lose everything because they didn't learn shit from it. Like they didn't know what it took to build up to that point. They didn't know how to manage their money. They didn't know how to manage like taxes or any of this stuff. So like when you don't know these things, when everything's easy and it's handed to you, you don't grow, you don't learn, you don't evolve. So these moments of discomfort, these moments of resistance, of friction, of pressure, that is what gives you the nudge. It gets you in motion. It makes you get off your ass and learn how to do it. And yes, it sucks sometimes. Like we can be so down in the dumps about it that we don't do shit about it and we don't move. And we play this like whole woe is me, like nothing's ever easy for me, right? But when you shift your perspective on it, like the reason that we have that pressure and resistance and discomfort, it's building us. We start to discover our resilience. We start to discover our strength, our capacity for change. Anybody out there that has been an inspirational speaker that has built these ginormous businesses that everybody like, you know, like the Amazons and the Dell computer and Tony Robbins, like they had to go through adversity. They had to go through discomfort. They came from somewhere that wasn't all butterflies and rainbows. Like they had to experience that and learn it so that they were able to build these businesses, to become these amazing coaches and business owners that they are. Like, you know, this is going beyond like some people may have resistance to just hearing these names because of the programs that the filters that were put into them at young ages about people that are powerful and inspirational and or you know rich, that they're evil people or they did something bad to get there. But like honestly, they went through some stuff. They went through things in their lives to get there, and it's because of those things that they went into their lives. It was their turning point. Like it was basically the match point or checkpoint or however you want to say it, like the point of shifting them onto a new timeline. And so this it's kind of getting into like quantum theory and explanations here, but you trudge along a certain timeline. And it's because of choices that you end up going and shifting onto a different one. So different timelines have different things that you achieve, different things that you get out of it. So because they chose to shift from this adversity and this friction and this resistance and this thing that they learned from, they chose to do something with it, to actually help other people, to build things from it. If they didn't have that thing, they would not be as successful, honestly. The other reason why you can't be happy all the time and why it's not something that you should strive for is that it would be really mundane. Like it would be so dredging and just like everything would just be meh. Like one of my friends like introduced the word meh to me like I don't know, like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, but it's like the epitome of like this is the easiest word for me to say. Nothing is fantastic. You don't even know the difference between good or bad. Like how would you know what happiness feels like without sadness, without anger, without contrast? How would you appreciate the sunshine without the rain? When we go through the winter and like it's cold and you're staying indoors, and which by the way, it's freaking 80 degrees in Texas right now. This is our winter, but how do you appreciate these warm days without the the crappy, icy, really cold, gross weather? How would you appreciate the sweetness of success if you didn't know failure? If you ever heard the saying fail forward, like what that means is you have to fail in order to move. Like failure is not a bad thing. Like how many times did Steve Jobs like fail at his first prototype? How many times did Henry Ford he kept telling these his workers like in you know what are they called, like inventionalists? I don't know the word for it. Y'all can tell me the word. But you know, like the people he kept telling them this is what he wants. I want this. I want this. And they kept failing and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing until finally it worked. So, how do you know what success looks like if you didn't go through the muck? So, when we get sold this, you know, happiness is a destination, that you have to get to this constant state of bliss. Like, I think of like monks. Like, they're always just, I wouldn't say they're always happy, even. Like, it's not like achieving it, you know, achieving enlightenment is essentially what the monks are going for, but it's like they're they're not achieving like this 100% all the time, like happy and this is good, and you know i'm I'm living into the layers of the universe, right? Or my body. This is they're in a neutral state. Like they're in neutrality. Like what is good and what is bad? Like, does it even have a meaning? It has different meanings between, you know, like it depends on what culture you're in, what good and bad means. So that neutrality is actually something more so like what we should be trying to strive for. Like happiness, we dip, we roller coaster. Our line is never just straight up. It's gonna go like this, and it's going to have some plateaus, and we're gonna have some dip downs. Like, that's normal. That is what life is. And allowing that to be okay, and allowing that emotion to come and to feel the emotions when they come, like, that's the secret to everything. Emotions, like, even like the plateaus, like that is a learning experience. Typically when people are in when they're trying to bridge a gap from something, like they're trying to get from like point A to B, right? And it seems like there's this giant canyon that's in the middle of it. Typically, when they go down, that is essentially a bungee. Not bungee, but like maybe like a trampoline. Like it's a point for them to drop down so that they can propel themselves up farther than when they started. So they're over here on the plateau, and then they drop and then go up, and then they're up here. So, you know, I just want to challenge some of the patterns, the beliefs, the programs, the prescription that you have on your glasses. Because when we start to look at things in different ways, when we start to realize that reality in the way that we see it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be our reality. We don't have to live our lives with these filters, with these blinders, with living in this box. Um, because society very much wants you to stay in the box. It very much wants you to always be striving for more. This is one of the reasons why, like, the banks, they want you to be in debt so that you stay stuck in a certain area. Like, you're always paying off the things. Like, you can't reach out, you can't get past, you can't you're not free thinking outside of the box. So when you are living in society standards and you're living in the box, you're living in this program state of mind, this reality, that what you think is reality, you know, you're easier to control. And that's, you know, it's rough to hear that, but that's what they want. They want you to believe that, you know, entrepreneurship is hard, that if you don't work a 9 to 5, then you'll be living on the street. That if you don't have the college career, you're not going to get a good job. That if you don't have the nice house, then I don't know, like you're not, you didn't amount to much. I don't know. So this is always, we're chasing this elusive feeling, this uh destination. But true happiness, like, it's when you're feeling that feeling that, like, it, and it's not even like, oh hey, I made it. Like, you're never gonna make it. Like, there's no like final destination to happiness or life or, you know, success, even, because there's always gonna be a step up. Like, there's always gonna be something more. But when you have the kind of happiness that, like, fills you up from the inside out, like, especially when you're like chasing dreams and doing what really feels good to you and your body and your psyche and your nervous system and your intuition, like, embracing everything as a full spectrum of the human experience. Like, this is about finding meaning and purpose in the present moment and changing the way that you think about things. Like, it's not good, it's not bad, then you can start, like, when you're living in the moment and you're appreciating the little things around you, like that to me is happiness. But when we're stuck in the cycle of this program that we have to have a certain thing in order to achieve happiness, like, that's setting you up for a downfall. That's setting you up for a failure. So understand, it's not a reward for getting everything right. It's recognizing, like, the beauty in chaos, the growth in the struggle, the joy in the ordinary. So rewriting that script is exactly the way that you can start to feel happiness and break free from that happiness trap, like the you know, I wanted to say something that it's chasing happiness, that chasing the happiness. So um Monday, um what is this? Okay, sorry, distraction. Monday, I am starting the Visionary You program. And so if you guys have not gotten in by Sunday, like, you're going to miss your chance, because I'm trying to keep this class semi small because I'm going to really freaking pour myself into this. The classes are going to be recorded, but I'm going to use them for future classes. So this is where I'm going to give it all I got. Like, this is, again, the founders program. So it's not going to be this rate probably after this. I'm going to pour into your one-on-one calls with your support. So not only are we going and shifting as a group and we're really changing our thinking on things, but we're also going to be diving into things one-on-one so that I can actually tailor your belief system, so that we can actually cut off that old program and rewire your brain so that you can actually see things in a different light. So don't let it pass you by. Like, honestly, do not sit and think about it. I have payment plans to make it affordable. The ones that are through me, I have them at $350 a month. But if you do Affirm or Klarna, you can get them like under $100. So, like, really, it's a no-brainer to jump in now. And then again, I'm keeping this class small so I can actually really pour into everybody. So I think like 4 or 5 spots left. So, and that just depends on if the person that said that they were getting in is going to get in on time. So, if I wouldn't wait, like, if you are thinking at all, like, I don't want to live this way anymore, and I don't, it's like, I'm handing you the red, blue, and the red pill or the blue pill. Like, this is your chance to decide, do I want to live in the old societal programmings, thinking that I'm limited and in a box and I can't see out of? Or do I want to take the other one and actually see what life for what it truly is and call in the things that I want more of and live outside of, you know, what we're being kept small to do. Like, this is our friction. This is our growth. This is what gets us out of that mentality, that stuck state. So don't think about it. If you have questions, I am here to chat. I'm here to give you options. Like, we can work something out. Like if you're on the fence about it, we can work it out. So don't wait. Um, Give me a chat, give me a, whatever. But don't wait on this because, again, this is the only time it's going to be done like this and at this rate. So appreciate you guys. And don't fall into the happiness trap. I know, easier said than done, but I appreciate you all for being in my community. Love you. Have an amazing rest of the week. Sorry I was so late getting to this today, but I had some classes that I was doing today for energy work. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Otherwise, I will keep talking. Love you all. Bye.